everybody. I hope you're all doing well. I'm going to be connecting with one of my patrons through a mini session. If any of you are interested in exploring my Patreon community, you can do so by visiting patreon.com/Abbey Normal's Wisdom Quest. All right, so a mini session, there aren't any specific goals. I'm going to go as guided by spirit. I want to thank you so much for being a part of Patreon, and thank you so much for this opportunity to connect with you today, and thank you for sharing with us here on YouTube. So I'm going to relax and get tuned in, and we will see what the wisdom and healing is for you today, okay? All right. What is the most meaningful wisdom and healing that I can share with you today? It's just nurture. Kind of like the feeling that someone is there for you, someone's got your back. And it's not just a human being, it's like really feeling the substance of your spirit guides or your higher self or your angelic team, like really feeling that connection and that support. And it goes beyond what you could say is a human relationship, because there's nothing to be ashamed of. There's nothing to feel guilty about. There's nothing to hide. And as you are is the most beautiful you that you could ever be. And that type of love that comes from our guides, our angels, our higher self, it gives us an extra backbone, to be honest. It's like something that you can exhale and lean into, and let them support you. Let them support you. So the feeling that I get is just someone to be there for you, someone who is there to support you. And it's a really profound and beautiful energy feeling, okay? So I get to kind of be the middleman that gets to be a part of this for you and really amplifying that experience, okay? Which means I'm a part of it too. It's so awesome. Okay. So I'm here and you're here, and you kind of represent the exhale and the leaning into the support, okay? It's the trust fall. We're going to do the trust fall. And I represent what is like all your team of love here for you. And they could be your incarnate friends, family, soulmates, that are also in the spirit realm supporting you as they are in the human world supporting you. So we're everywhere at the same time. We're in every dimension at the same time. And so your angels, your spirit guides, your higher self, and on and on and on, ascended masters, and on, your ancestors, the stars, everything is here for you, okay? Everybody, we're all here for you. And I welcome you to trust fall into us, okay? Just trust fall into us. We've got you. And it's like you're really gripping or holding on to something that is not, you could say that you're using this as your tool to keep upright, as your tool to feel safe and secure in your own personal stance on things. But this is saying let go of that comfort, which isn't actually true comfort. You need to have a trust fall and let, the energies rebuild themselves, materialize in a new way for you. You shouldn't be clinging to anything. There's nothing you need to cling to, okay? So let go of the clinging. Stop being so clingy. All right, trust fall. You say no. We're like bringing you into the trust fall, and you're like, no! You don't trust fall, okay? You try, it doesn't work too well. It was a really, it was an attempt that wasn't really an attempt. Literally what it looked like is you were presenting yourself as, okay, I can do this. but you never like let go of this, whatever you're holding on to. And your energy just turned into like a black rainbow. And it was sort of like you were leaning back, like you were creating the arc of the rainbow to kind of fall into us. But the rainbow is made out of like a rubbery material or like a rubber band, and it just slingshotted you back into what you're holding on to. So we're gonna have to baby step this, okay? And I'm asked to go back to the image of the black rainbow, and we're gonna explore this a little more deeply, okay? Why is this here? Why did you materialize this? It is an extremely neutral energy space. Neutral energies are really, I find them to be quite interesting. And sometimes neutral just is completely neutral. It just matter of fact is neutral. But neutral in and of itself is matter of fact. It's not one way or another way. It's just neutral, okay, about everything. And now neutral can also be like a safety mechanism, so we don't have to feel anything. We don't have to feel upset about this. We don't have to feel guilty about this. We don't have to feel too happy about something, because maybe people get freaked out because we're too happy. So we try to neutralize our emotions or the sound of how we're expressing ourselves. We neutralize it. So being in a neutral space, it's hard to tell why is it neutral? What's the inspiration for it in order for me to know what to do with that, okay? I feel like this neutrality is avoidance, okay? Avoiding expressing a certain raw feeling so we can neutralize it so we can kind of be ignorant. I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm not upset about anything. Yeah, you are. You're so flippin' upset that you're neutral about it. I don't know what you're talking about. So you can play these games, right? Or you can just be legit and say, I'm flipping crazy insecure about that. I don't even know how to feel about that. And so because I don't know how to feel about that, I'm just going to shut everything off and pretend that nothing like that is going on here, and I don't know what you're talking about. So it's kind of interesting how we play these mind games with our emotions and with the outside world and with ourselves. I don't know that that's exactly the scenario we've got going on here with you, but this neutrality is like avoidance, okay? And avoidance can sound like that. Just me talking about it is wiggling things a bit. It's loosening things up a bit. It's making it so I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to talk and try to understand what you're going through. And so I'm giving you some ideas of maybe what this might be about. And it's just giving this, it's actually helping this to loosen up, which is helping it to grow, which is helping it to expand and transform into something new, okay? Or just completely disappear. But there is an improvement. There are several beings in here, which I want to define as royalty, and there's 4 of them. And there's like a king in the forefront, and they create like a point, like an arrow pointing towards me, or like the triangle without the base. So they're standing in that formation, and there's 4 of them. But it seems balanced on both sides, and this king is really at the forefront, like he's at the peak, he's at the tip. And the energy that they emanate is royalty. They're royals. He kind of starts to look like the Burger King. He literally starts to look like the Burger King. It's hard to take him seriously. I tell him that you remind me of the Burger King. That's what this royalty is all about, is presentation, okay? Presenting a certain solidity or structure or mannerism or elite status. so that it represents something that is developed even over generations of time. We've been royalty for the last 10,000 years or whatever. Like, we've owned this land, we've owned these people, we've been running the show for a while now. Like, we've earned this status, you know? And so it's like, it kind of emanates that we're developed in what we are. We represent something that's better than you. We don't have to really say it because it's obvious, you know, because we're royal. That's our label. And that gives us permission then to be above. So now I create what is like a massive dining room table that's kind of ridiculous, where we can't actually see each other from one end of the table to the other end of the table. And we're having a conversation, and it's like absolutely ridiculous because nobody can hear anybody. It's like you know what this reminds me of? Coming to America. There's this extremely long table in this movie. And there's this conversation from one end of the table to the other. It's like absolutely absurd because nobody can really talk to one another. They're so far away. And that's what this is like here. Just absolutely absurd. And I'm kind of emphasizing that maybe this isn't so perfect. Maybe this isn't so put together. Maybe this isn't working. Maybe there's change that is needed here. They tell me there's a little bit of ego involved because of just simply it's just like a metaphor for what you could say is ego or status, right? And so it doesn't want to change, and it doesn't want to let go of status. It doesn't want to just, my family's been royal for 10,000 years. I'm not going to step down for what I'm owed. I was born into this. You can't take this away from me. You can't take me from my throne into the alleyway. You know, how dare you? You know, so there's a bit of an ego and an attachment to the way things need to stay. We don't want change here. They need to stay this way. I can imagine that would be a really conflicting scenario, to be born into like high stature and then lose everything. It would seem like completely unfair in a way. Like, all these generations of your family have always been like served and given all these rights and abilities, and now you're just like everybody else. It seems wronging. They don't want to change. They find the table's too long. We still like it this way. Kind of makes me think of family members that are really ingrained in the way things have always been, or the way things always will be, you know, and the way they choose to interact or behave. They don't want to change. And so this is starting to remind me of family that is kind of, maybe certain family members are stuck in their old ways. Maybe the older generations don't want to change, and then the younger generations maybe aren't seen or appreciated for the way that they are, different from how you grew up or whatever. And so there's like conflict of interest here, just the way that we can just love each other and socialize and just appreciate each other for the way we are. So that also is coming up here about family and just the way that it feels warm, or it feels kind of like we have to be put together in a certain way to make it look right. Me, again, just talking about it in here is still loosening this up, and I will say this rainbow energy is quite sticky. And as much as we've accomplished, it's like the fibers of it are not wanting to alter their DNA strand. Like, they're really clinging to the way that they were created is the way they'll always be. These strands that create this rainbow, that creates this dimensional space that's attached to you and not supporting you, and you wanting to let go of what you're attached to. It's wanting you to hold on, and it wants to hold on to you. So now how are we going to get you to disconnect from all of this so you can do a proper trust fall? You know what I mean? I'm bringing you into the situation. I say, this is actually the master of this whole place, and of the body and the mind and the emotion. This is actually the master. I'm introducing you as the master of the house, literally. Like, you are actually the master of the house. You decide what goes. You're a bit tongue-tied. Like, you try to speak and your tongue starts to roll in weird directions, and it's like, you can't say, you can't articulate what you want. It's almost like you're putting their needs before your own, and their needs are actually decrepit. Their needs are not worth in encouraging them to continue. Their needs suck. So why are we making room for decrepit needs that need to change? Because we don't, we understand them. We understand that they are stuck in their ways, so we'll just let them stay stuck in their ways because they'll be a crybaby if we don't let them stay as they are. We've accepted that they're probably never going to change, and they're a part of you, and you're going to have to just live with this, okay? So it's like, are you clingy, or is it clingy to you and then you are clingy to it naturally, this like strange bond? And maybe this is all about family, you know what I mean? And your relationship with family members. But the neat thing is the way we see our family members, whether we like them or we don't like them, they're still our soulmates. And when we shed the skin and we leave this life, we'll see them for who they truly are on the other side, and we'll be grateful because we're all teaching each other different lessons and helping each other to feel extremely uncomfortable or overcome that discomfort and make them uncomfortable. And we don't like each other because these are really hard interactions that require a lot of change and a lot of effort and a lot of time, and it's uncomfortable again, and nobody wants to feel uncomfortable, right? So these are the lessons that we share with family members, And so it kind of reminds me of this too. You can't really let go of family, and family can't really let go of you. So we have to work with this. And maybe neutral is the best way to deal with the discomfort or things, people you can't change, or circumstances that won't change, and it just is what it is. But I say no. What I'm going to do is bring trustful as a collective of pure love, and I'm just gonna start wrapping it around you like a really beautiful warm blanket, okay? So souls, trillion souls can combine and become a really warm blanket, and all the souls are still there, and they're all just light around you, and they're there to support you. You can be who you are. You can be who you are. And you are the master of your home, which is yourself. And don't let anybody else tell you how you need to be, okay? Because you can be who you are, and then tell them how they need to love you for who you are. And they'll either be able to do it or they won't. And then they'll hate you for it, or they'll figure it out and say thank you for putting your foot down. I do need to work on this way that I treat you. Not everybody is bold enough to admit they need to grow and that they were wrong, I will say this is creating a lot of warmth and light in your heart, and it's very moving. It's very beautiful to breathe, inhale and exhale in the blanket of safety and security that is completely there for you with this exchange, okay? And now it doesn't have to be a black rainbow. It doesn't have to be anything you're clinging to and it's clinging to you. You can just be completely your own solid self. You can just be completely you. And let all this love help you to navigate through those exchanges, okay? And to feel safe in who you are and to continue to be who you are, okay? There's only one of you. If you have to be like the rest of the world, whatever that is, that we all have to be, right? Then you're not an individual anymore. You're the rest of the world. So you have to stay true to who you are. And I have a feeling there's a lot of genuine love in that person. And that's worth being that person. You know what I mean? All right. Thank you so much again for this opportunity. It's really nice to connect with you. And thank you for sharing with us all here on YouTube. I hope you all have a wonderful day.